Welcome everyone for another, what I hope to be an exciting coaching corner here on the channel. Wednesdays are one of my favorite days of the week. Wednesdays really when I get to dial in on my work and projects and different things that I'm doing, not only for myself, but also for clients. Wednesdays are the days where we get to have the coaching corner. And one of the things that we have been really looking at over the last couple of weeks, actually, even last month, we closed out the year a little bit with storytelling. And storytelling is such a awesome experience. Storytelling is quite literally involved in every aspect of everything that we do. I mean, it's quite literally part of every aspect of all that we do. If you watch the news, there is a component of storytelling that is there. If you watch the weather person on the news, they still got to tell the weather from the perspective of the stories of those who are going through them right now across the United States, especially on the southern and eastern sides of it. Even up into the Northeast as well, we're experiencing a ridiculous cold front. I mean, it is something absolutely crazy to behold, and we are definitely under that system right now. But when you hear the stories of those who are looking at it, when you hear of the stories of those who have had to shovel snow, delays from school, bus stops that got closed down because they didn't want people sitting out there in sub-zero degree weather. All of these are the stories that help to shape and guide the narrative around what you are experiencing with this particular weather system. Story is where we couch what it is we hope to achieve. Story is where we get across some of those things that we are looking to really work with. Story, man, listen, even the events of the last few days, whether you have stories around maybe your grandmother or mother for that matter, maybe some other family member actually listened to a speech from Dr. King, regardless of where you live in the world. And we just experienced that birthday. That is story. That is story. And that story gives the experience relevance. That story allows people to get a window into who you are and what you do. Maybe you, like several hundred thousands of people, could not turn off the TV on Monday because you're watching the inauguration. There are stories couched into every aspect of all that we see and do and experience all around us. And how we engage with one another with story is still going to be very critical in the content creator's journey, but also in your journey to become a thought leader in a given space, in your journey to funnel clients to your business, in your journey to really get across to your audience all that you hope to explain and describe and relay. Storytelling, as we have been sharing, is the art of sharing a narrative with an audience through language, movement, or vocalization. It can be done in many mediums, including spoken word, written text, film, music, or dance. Storytelling is a social and cultural activity that can be used for entertainment, education, cultural preservation, or to instill moral values. It can help people find common ground, empathy, and understanding. And one of the things I love and that we have been sharing is you have the ability, you have the long-standing tradition of sharing stories in new and creative ways wherever you are and in whatever capacity you find yourself. We tend to describe our situation, our stories through the lens of our own story. And the person who masters that perspective, the person who gets that across is going to end up with the benefits, right? They get the bacon, as they say. They win the prize. I see several of you are chiming in. I got a chance to look up some details where storytelling is concerned, and I found There are several types of story structure. Story structure, just in short, is the order in which a story events are presented to the audience. How you present the structure of the story is just as important as the fact that you're leveraging the power of story itself. It's the framework that unifies the different elements of a story. Right? You have characters, you have plot, and you have themes. That's just a very simple story structure. Who was there? What was happening? What was the theme of what was happening? And what is your suggested takeaway? Because I say suggested because you just don't know what people are going to take away from a given story. We don't get to decide like what Tora's takeaway is going to be, or Tracy's takeaway is going to be, or Florence's takeaway. We don't get to decide what those are. So you have a suggested takeaway as you share your story, but you don't necessarily get to decide what the person's takeaway is going to be. I have this quote that I want to share, and the quote simply says, "Many who are qualified to do excellent work accomplish little because they attempt little." Many who are qualified to do excellent work accomplish little because they attempt little. And now we have what I like to call the input. This is the kernel. This is the nugget. This is where the story begins, essentially. Because for me, I take the quote and then I begin to look backward. Who is the person that even said the quote? The character. What's happening here? Now, in using the quote, put myself in the story. And the quote simply says, many who are qualified, many who are, they have abilities and skills and gifting, many who are qualified to do excellent work, they can't do that excellent work. That's not what it says, but that's what I take away from it. They can't, they accomplish little is what the quote says, but essentially accomplishing little means they didn't do the work that they're qualified to do because they attempt little. They accomplish little because they attempt little. What would be your takeaway? Maybe your takeaway could be if they accomplished great, then if they accomplished great is because they attempted great things. Is there a correlation between the two? These are the details. These are the details that you want to tease out. And even as I'm sharing this as an example of storytelling, several of you are already beginning to answer the questions that the quote simply leaves us with. Many who are qualified. Okay, am I qualified? I think I am. I would put myself in that category. Okay, what's the next set of words? To do excellent work. I think I'm qualified to do excellent work too. So I would put myself in that category as well. Many who are qualified to do excellent work. How many of those do we have today? Okay, so qualified to do excellent work, that's you. They accomplish little. If they're qualified to do excellent work, why are they accomplishing little? I'm glad you asked, because the quote answers by saying, because they attempt little. Now you are left. Lux, I see you. Tracy, I see you. Dr. Oteng, I see you. Florence, I see you. You're left holding the bag, trying to now understand, why did they attempt little? And here is the real transformative piece in terms of storytelling. Why do you attempt little? And that's how we make this shift. That's how we give you the characters. This is how we give you the theme. This is how we tell you the activity. You begin to fill in the blanks in your head. Man, yeah, I really did intend to really have that beach body by summer. And here it is, we're in January 2025, and I don't have that beach body yet. I didn't accomplish, you fill in the blank. I'm not trying to step on your toes. I'm simply saying, as a content creator, especially for those looking to utilize online video to really grow and engage an audience, to funnel clients to your business, to establish yourself as a thought leader in a given space, using the art of storytelling is critical, but you don't want to spoon feed the entire story to the audience. You want to leave critical pieces out so that the audience member can see themselves in that story. One of the ways that we're able to help our audiences, whether live or on replay, or even in a webinar, really engage with us further, all right, is by giving them the opportunity to respond in tangible ways, to respond in the ways that when they respond, they don't even know what they're telling you. As a content coach, this is quite literally my life. I am always asking questions in the coaching session where I know what the answer to the question is telling me, but the person I'm coaching doesn't. And I love being able to utilize tools and strategies to really create this two-way street with my audience, with those who are in this journey with me, so that I can gain insight and information from them that lets me know, yes, I'm hitting the nail on the head, or I am completely off the mark. And that's what we're going to dive into today. We're going to take a look at a tool that quite literally sets the stage for us to have real-time engagement with one another in terms of being able to allow your audience to fill in the blanks of those stories that you are creating with your content. Let's dive in. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. We are back yet again for another week here in the Coaching Corner. And I see at least one person has already joined the Zoom room. What's going on, sis? It's always good to have you with us. I see you waving over there. Good to see you as well. But we've got so many of you guys hanging out with us in the chat, 15 of you on the live already. And I want to say this as we get ready to dive in. If you're coming in brand new, you've never been to the Coaching Corner before, you're in for a treat today. We're actually going to be testing out a piece of software called Stream Alive. And that is the software that I'm talking about that enables us to really engage with our audience in ways that creates that two-way communication and allows them to fill in the blanks of those stories. So we're still under our theme, still looking at how we can continue to really leverage storytelling in our pursuits as content creators. But this is the Coaching Corner. And if you're new, the Coaching Corner is in the middle of the middle, on Wednesday, in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week, where we get a chance to pull aside for a little bit, just for an hour, sometimes more, especially if you guys have questions. And I do encourage questions, but we pull aside for a little while to just tap in with one another. I like to call it the Coaching Corner because there's this imagery in my mind of you being in the boxing match and I'm in the corner with a towel over my shoulder yelling, yeah, go for it. Take that punch, make that jab, go for that content, record that video, right? And in the Coaching Corner, what happens when you get a chance to go to the Coaching Corner, it generally only happens when the ref rings that bell, stops the fight, sends each of the opponents to their corners, and in the corner, you get a chance to get worked on a little bit. In the corner, you get a chance to have a little massage. In the corner, you have somebody whispering in your ear, you're in the fight, you're doing the things. In the corner, you get to be re-encouraged. You get to retouch why you are in the fight in the first place. In the corner, you get refueled and re-energized to face another round and possibly knock out your opponent. In the corner, man, we can readjust, we can assess, we can provide insight, perspective, and that's what the corner is meant to be. We're super excited that you're here with us today. You know what I gotta do? I gotta go to comments. That comment is from last week, but I don't mind if you guys decide to start out with a super chat. That's how we ended last Wednesday. Tracy is here. Thank you so much for being here. We're excited to have you. Jim is here as well. Hello, everyone from cold Ohio. It's cold all over. I see you. I see you. I see you. Oh, Geraldine is here with us as well. She says, very good afternoon, everyone. Same to you. Doc Bashara is on the live. What's going on, sir? Good afternoon, my peoples. Good afternoon to you as well. Oh, my God, Kerwin Bornell. It's been a little bit. Kerwin, thank you so much for being with us today. Yo, we got a lot of moderators and members in the chat. If you see those dots next to a name, you know that they're members on the channel. If you see that wrench next to a name, you know that they are a moderator on the channel. And so we want to say hello to the mod squad for sure. Tora says, what up, Florence and all? Thank you so much, Tora, for being with us today. Always appreciate all of you guys coming through and hanging out. I see you guys were commenting during my lead-in presentation. I would ask, where am I qualified? Woo! That's a good question to ask in the corner. That's a good question to ask here in the coaching corner. Dr. Otang is here with us today. Thank you so much for being here. Attempt little, accomplish little. Lux is with us today. Lux is one of the founders of Stream Alive, and we're super excited to have him today. I'm hoping that he's going to jump in on Zoom in a little bit, but you don't have to. I know you were in there earlier. We're going to get to that in just a few minutes. What's the excellent work? Oh boy, there's so many different things here. Oh, I see you guys went down the rabbit hole. Blocking potential has been the main effect and legacy of systemic racism. Come on, come on, come on. Talk to me, Dr. Bashara. You guys are pulling out some really good things here today. I love this. I want to make sure that you guys get a chance to really, engage today, and we're going to definitely dive in. I want to make sure we have your involvement because we definitely need your comments today. That's going to help us out tremendously. So we have right here, help. Yes. Help. This question, the Q : helps your question stand out. That's what Florence has typed in, and we're excited about that. Thank you, Florence, for being with us today. And then we see Lux just saying, hey, good afternoon, friends. Good afternoon to you as well. Thank you so much for being with us today. This is the Coaching Corner, as I mentioned before, and we're excited to be with you. So, let's see. One of the things I want to showcase is a platform called Stream Alive, and we got several people chiming in. In fact, I'm going to try and get my ears set up here because I do want to be able to hear from my folks in Zoom in case they have something to say. So I want to make sure I get that set up. But while we're doing that, I see oh yeah, Florence is commenting in the Zoom room. Those comments come in as well, you can tell. So let's get this going. He's over. And if you've been in this content game for a while, you know this whole headphones arrangement is quite the arrangement. It is quite the arrangement. All right, I'm plugged in and ready to go. And I see Lux has rejoined us over on Zoom as well. That's awesome. 17 of you guys are on the live. How many of you are familiar with this platform called Stream Alive? Let's make sure we pull that up. Let me get that website up for you. Host plus screen. This is Stream Alive. AI. See how AI can make your live sessions more interactive. And I'll say this just as FYI for anybody that's out there today. Let's go back to here. Oh my, all the things are coming into there. That's good. That's not what I wanted to do though. Let's get back to here. Make a switch. I'm gonna make sure to put my link in the comments if you are interested in at any point, if there's anything that we share that you're like, oh man, I gotta try out this Stream Alive. Definitely want to make sure you get a chance to do that, and you can do that, as you can probably guess, Florence, by going to kirkrnugent.live/streamalive. And so what I'm going to do is put that in the description of the video. I thought it was there already, but there's several things that I have that I thought was there before that was missing. So we're going to make sure that that's in there right now. Boom. And we save that, and now you got it. And then we can actually go to view on YouTube. Boom. And I can put that in the comments for you guys as well. Let's pin that comment. All right, so we're good to go on both sides. Yeah, so this is Stream Alive, and there's a lot of different ways to be able to use this interactive maps that you've got on here. We have different quizzes and polls that you can definitely look into. You can see that one there. Here's another one. What is your biggest challenge in presenting? Live polls, word clouds. I love that one as well. We have several of these set up for us to be able to kind of engage around. Talking tiles as well. I didn't try out the emojis everywhere, but I am going to try out the winning wheel. So that's going to be pretty fun. Definitely looking forward to it. Ha ha ha, we got Zoom popping. Yes, you do. And the link is in the description. If you want to join us on Zoom, the link is in the description. Oh, Florence says, can we get the duck race? Oh my. Well, listen, you're in Zoom with Lux. So if we want to get the duck race going, you need only ask right there. But this is what Stream Alive looks like as in terms of the website. When you log in, however, this is what it looks like. And I have one presentation is what we call them, right? I have one presentation already going here. And David Hunt says, in case you didn't know, we are live. Thank you, David Hunt, for being with us today. Let me make sure I don't miss anything. Coins Making Sense says, Stream Alive. Tell us more. There you go. There you go. I will put it in the YouTube chat. Good. Oh, perfect. Listen, Florence beat me to it. This is how good my moderators are. Let me make sure I haven't missed anything. All right, I see Tora is here. She says, great. I've been trying to see if I can use SLI for my daily quizzes, but so far I'm not seeing the format I need. Maybe I'm overlooking it. Yes, I think I'm going to star this comment, Tora, and we're going to come back to it in a little bit because after we kind of go through some pieces, maybe you will get some inspiration and we'll be able to kind of take a look at some things. Here we go. I like this comment from Lux. He says, we have an initial version called multiple choice. So he's sharing that with you, Tora. Lots more coming in on the trivia and quizzes. In fact, doing a trivia session tomorrow. So definitely keep that in mind. And I love the back and forth. I love to see that you guys are kind of chatting with one another. I love it. That is always a good place to be. Now, back on the screen, you can see I have one set up here. But one of the things that they have, they have these quick interactions that you could easily just set up. I have my presentations and you have sessions, and sessions are meant to be set up for you to integrate with a particular brand. So I'm going to go back to my presentation to go into this one here, and I've got a couple of screens already set up, and here's the first one, and there's several others. So I'm going to connect this. Now, I want to add, I want to get the audio from my guest. So Lux, you there still? You there, brother? Oh.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Oh, okay, good. All right. I was gonna say, what happened? What happened to? I thought I had your voice in the screen there. All right, well, that's great. Let me see if this is gonna work. All right. So Lux is with us. I'm going to see if I can bring him on screen, if you don't mind, Lux. Because I got a quick question for you. All right. So this is Lux. Lux is from Stream Alive, and we're excited to have him with us today. So what I'm going to set up first is, of course, this screen. But my process to get this going currently with Ecamm, of course, is going to be integrated into the comment section on YouTube, correct?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, absolutely.
So I just need to pull up the YouTube comments.
Yeah, or you could just click on the connect to present and hook it up with your YouTube. Yes.
There we go. All right, so we can just connect it directly to the platform right here. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So the thing that I was gonna go through is do Zoom, but I'm gonna actually start with YouTube to make sure I get that. Now I'm just streaming to YouTube today, y'all. Right at this moment, just streaming to YouTube. If I was streaming to multiple destinations, I would need to have a way to have an aggregate of those comments to be able to get everything in there. But since I'm just streaming to YouTube today, I can easily just set this up and schedule your stream before proceeding. All right, let me do one or two things here real quick. But yeah, this the way that I had this set up before. Maybe I missed a step. Let me get this up and rolling. So this was, that's, okay. Yeah, no, I just need to authorize the account. That's all. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Continue. And let's go back to my scene with Lux. And host plus screen. That's not really the one, but we'll get him back up on here in just a second. Getting a lot of notifications. All right, so you'll see now that it's been authorized to the right channel. You gotta have it authorized to the right channel, y'all. Then I can simply select the live stream that I'm doing right now. So I select that, click present, and I am actually going to skip that part, say no to that. And this is now I'm on screen along with my presentation. So my question to all of you in the chat, and you will have to type this on YouTube, is welcome to the show. Let us know where you're watching from. So go ahead and share with us where you're watching from. Go ahead and type that in the chat. I know it's going to take a second for some of you to hear what I'm saying because I know there's a little bit of a delay, but go ahead and let us know where you are watching from. All right. And I am seeing New Jersey just popped up. You can see New Jersey is there on screen. Anyone, let me see what else we got here. Alabama just popped up on screen. Yeah, scroll in here. New York, Canada, Ontario. Most of my stuff. Oh, Mini Scenes GB over here in England. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, Dwayne Wood says, I tried this a couple weeks ago, wasn't able to get it going. Thank you for checking this out. Absolutely, sir. New Jersey, Los Angeles. See, this is pretty dope. And again, this is real-time interaction. It's integrated into the chat right here on YouTube. It's pulling from your comments. Creative Focus has said, New Los Angeles, thank you so much for being here. Kerwin Bornell says, New Jersey. We got Jersey in the house, and it looks like we got a number. So if we zoom in even further, you can see where people are typing in from. That's pretty cool. Somebody said Jerusalem. Let's go and see if that pulled up. Yeah, look at that, Tora. Tora. Is that where you are? No, I know you're not there, but but that's pretty cool, right? I mean, essentially, you could have a screen like this one, and you would have your audience members just kind of chiming in, and yeah. Oh yeah, you're in there too, Tracy. I see you in there too. Somebody put something somewhere else. I don't know. Lancaster, Massachusetts. We're playing around with this thing today. So several comments coming in so far. Let me go ahead and get my screen. We go. We got screen only on there, and you can see comments are coming in from all over. I bring didn't work. I do want to add a screen share here that I can be able to pull in at 5 actions. Perfect. All right, we have that. I'm going to publish that real quick. And again, I'm just kind of looking through some of your comments, And so we have people chiming in from Canada, Ontario. We've got England. We've got New York, Tip City, Ohio. Okay, cool. Seeing folks in here from DC, Ann Arbor, Huntsville, Alabama, Jerusalem. And if we Man, somebody's here way up in is that Canada? Is that New England? I don't know, Alaska? We got several comments coming in. Lancaster, Massachusetts, I should say. Orlando, Florida. I see you out there. There we good. There we go. Reddith, England. Okay. Planet Brooklyn. I like it. Coming soon. Weather and time and locations. Dope, 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 dope. Trinidad and Tobago. Several. Click the location red dot to see who is there. Okay, so let's go to the actual screen itself. We'll come in and we will be able to click to see. Here we go. It actually does. Coins making sense. I like it. And we have Dwayne Wood in Huntsville and Alabama. It's Kanik. And then we got Kerwin Bornell in Orlando. And we got 2 here in DC. We got Equip Institute. Yeah. We're having some pretty. So Kerwin is in 2 different places. I see you're in New Jersey. I like it. And you have Bob Ponce. Thank you so much, all of you guys. Dr. Bashara is in New York as well. So many different comments coming in, and you can see what that looks like. Okay, so that's our first one. That's our first one. That's our first section, first piece. The next thing is for us to answer the question, and I know that it is hard to see on the screen because of the way that I did it. But we're gonna pull this over here real quick. And I want you to answer this question: is storytelling useful? We've been talking about storytelling for the last month and change. Is storytelling useful? Talk to us in the chat. Is storytelling useful? And then all you got to do in order to answer that question is just put true or false. Type that in. You'll see those start coming in. All right, you guys, the comments are coming in even before they come into my comments here in Ecamm. That's pretty cool. So I see ones. I see you put 1 there. Okay, we got a 1 from Lux and a T. So yeah. So we definitely want ones. We want to put a 1 for true and a 2 for false. A 1 for true, 2 for false. So I see Tora put true, but it didn't take. So I do believe you have to put a 1 there to be able to get that to go. So let's see what we got here. Oh, no worries. Yeah. Love it. Okay, so still so far we just have the one true item that's there. We want to see if you guys can get some 1s or 2s in the chat. And so there we go. Let's test the false, Tora says. Okay, so somebody put a 2 in there. Oh, 62% have true, 38% are saying false, and we've got multiple coming in, and you can see that these numbers are changing actively as you guys are answering the question. Numbers are changing actively as we answering the question. And you can also see how many people are playing, and there is a limit to how many people I can have playing at a time. So several different ways that we can kind of play with this thing here. But your comments are coming in good. Looks like we got we have some maybe we might have a troublemaker, but I'm not certain yet. 64% and 36% is what we have for these 2 answers. This is really cool. Also in here, we have the ability to do a word cloud. So now use 1 word to describe storytelling. What you got? I see several of you still putting the 1s in. And I assume that you're putting the 1 in to say that you believe storytelling is impactful. Let's see if it registers more than 1 vote. I don't believe it did. I'm not certain. Okay, we have an emoji. We got some word cloud items coming in. Use 1 word to describe storytelling. Okay, this is one of my issues solved. I can bring the chat box onto screen so to see who answered the true and the falses. Yeah. I just brought the chat box onto the screen. I just figured that would be the easiest way to do it, Tora. So, and you can design this a little bit better than I have. So you can definitely find a way to bring that up some, and so that you're not covering things, and then maybe even do the same. So you just kind of copy these settings and paste it onto this, and we have that there as well. So you have, yeah, there's ways to be able to make that work and have it look good. So yeah, you can see that. Innovative, okay. Beneficial, connector, inspire, genius. One word to describe storytelling: sharing, impactful, effective, tribes, okay, empathy. I see it, I see it, I see it. Several different ways that we're able to utilize this word cloud scenario. And again, as a content creator, right, it would not be hard for you to be able to just say, man, that's, you could take one of those words, right, and then say, okay, let me see here, Kerwin, you put the word insightful. And if you put insightful again, if several people put the same word, I believe that word gets bigger. So you have that as well. You have that option as well. Successful, golden, empathy, meaningful. There's transforming. There's several other words that are being added to the word cloud in the chat. 23 of you on the live. Love seeing this. This is cool. This is cool. Dwayne Wood says transforming. I like it. I like it. I like it. So these are some of the ways that as a content creator, as a live show host, as a storyteller, you can begin to really pull, make insightful bigger. But you can really begin to pull from your audience some of the things that they really are looking to say and share, especially when you ask them to do some, just by saying, hey, describe storytelling in one word. Because somebody might say frustrating, because maybe they're struggling with telling story. And so that's one of the ways that you can actually be able to gain insight from your audience in terms of what you're doing. And so this is really an innovative tool to be able to do that, to get that insight from folks. And because they can see their responses in real time, it further drives home the point of how this works, Okay, so you guys are helping me. And I love this. Can't beat a good word cloud. I love it. I couldn't agree with you more. Here is another piece. Okay, for creators, why is storytelling important? Now, this is transient thoughts. So as you type, certain things are going to pop up on the screen. So for creators, why is storytelling important? You can put a little phrase, you can put a sentence. This is kind of like me putting a question up on the screen, and then maybe I might even add myself in there. Let's do that real quick. Let's see if I can. There we go. I'm back on screen now. Several of you were like, "Oh, we're missing you, Kirk." I'm here. I just wanted to kind of give the exercise its own space. Okay, so Equip Institute says it anchors the information for the person. You see how that works? This is transient thoughts. So you could just have this screen up and it automatically pulls the comments in, allowing us to see what people are thinking. Kanik says it connects with your audience. See, Florence says in Zoom, she says, I like that one. It connects with your audience. Okay. Lux says we are wired to react to and remember stories. Hey, Lux, that's a good one, sir. You're making my point. Kanik says drives your point home. Yes, it does. This is why storytelling is the cheat code. And I'm always telling folks, you want to be mindful of storytelling. Translation of thoughts. Absolutely another really good one. Really good one. Let me see what we got here. Translation. Increased engagement, bringing your content to life. Tracy, come on. And the thing is, when somebody sees their comment on screen big like that, and we're all able to engage around it, there is so much that we can do with that level of engagement. That, like, when people are locked in from that perspective, they're not going anywhere. It's not, people stay longer when they're engaged. They learn better when they're engaged. When it's not just me yelling at the camera or the microphone and hoping that somebody's listening, hoping that it's impactful. When I get that message back, that's the indicator. That's when I can say, I'm hitting the nail on the head. So Tora says it makes the listener focus. can we emphasize one? I love that. I see that. I love that. Okay, we got several comments going. Great to see you. Thanks again for the recent video you did. Okay, so V Team Paranormal just kind of put a general comment there, but the comment still came up on screen, and the idea is you could use this in the way that it was intended, but you could use it for some other purposes as well. And all my streamer folks, you know what I'm talking about out there. This is kind of like a cheat code of being able to just see what the comments are, you know? So that's another really cool way that you can utilize this platform. We've kind of designed these out for it to be able to look this way. Dwayne Wood says, if used well, stories make content portable. Man, oh man, oh man. I'm glad I'm recording this because I'm going to use these comments because I can use every one of these comments for another coaching corner. It makes it, if used well, stories make content portable. That's such a great comment, man. Okay, Florence is asking a question. She says, is the cloud placement customizable? I didn't do much here. And so this is where I'll let Lux respond. Lux, you can just come off mute and respond if you'd like to.
Hey, sure. Thank you. Can you hear me, Kirk? Okay.
I can hear you, yeah. And they can too.
Super. So, Florence, it kind of automatically happens. It keeps peeking into different corners, as you can see. So it's almost trying to give the illusion of Kirk literally going from the mind of one person to the other. So that's kind of the illusion we're trying to create over here.
Right.
There is another interaction, and maybe Kirk's going to show it or not, but it's called talking tiles, which makes them fall in a different. Oh, okay. So I won't spoil that then, but that kind of is all about placement, and I'll let Kirk talk about it when it comes through. But in this one is more of literally you're reading through what's happening in people's minds, and that's kind of the illusion we're trying to create.
Absolutely. Miss Jill is in the live. Thank you so much for being with us today. I always love seeing you hanging out with us today. And I see Tora says, Kirk, you read my mind. Put it in the corner as an auto commenter. Exactly my point. Exactly my point. This is it's in Stream Alive. I think somebody was asking the question, is there a limit on the number of sources that can participate? And so if you're looking on the screen right now, right here on the bottom where it says 22 of 250, that's how many people I have that are participating with us online on YouTube. But my limit in the current plan that I have is 250. So that kind of answers your question. I'm new here. Please, what's going on? I really want to know. Okay, so Mozart Woods Media, thank you so much for being with us today. We are doing a test of a platform called Stream Alive. And so we have been in this series of storytelling. We've been talking about storytelling the last couple of weeks. So even though we're testing the platform, we're still making it relevant to what we have been doing in this series, because the questions that we're framing are all about storytelling. And so all you got to do is actually comment in the chat. So here we go. This is a power poll. What do you like about storytelling? Now, all you got to do on this one, correct me if I'm wrong, Lux, is just put in a word. And if a word gets multiple mentions, then it will begin to kind of rank itself as the top option or the second option, the third option, those kinds of things. Okay, so Lux says exactly. So we're gonna ask the question again. What do you like about storytelling? And I see several people are saying, hit that like button. Thank you guys so much. In one word, what do you like about storytelling? In one word, what do you like about storytelling? And you just want to make sure, for those of you who are going to maybe possibly going to use this, you can definitely make sure you share that with the audience so that they know, you know, you definitely want to do one word. Okay, so relatable is trending. Connecting is trending. Let's see what else. What in one word, what do you like about storytelling? Several of the words that we used for the cloud, the word cloud, could be used again. Understandable, immersive, moving. And so now you're starting to see, you know, and as those options keep coming through, you'll definitely see some different things. I want you to understand that colors are customizable, background is customizable, all those things are customizable in terms of if you're setting this up for yourself, if you're setting this up for yourself. Yeah. Thanks. I see that. I see several of you are inspired. Several others. So engage. Engaging is another one. It looks like that one got another vote. And so it keeps 10 of them on screen, and it just kind of keeps on aggregating those pieces in terms of which one is actually trending the most. So now we're at the talking tiles. So here's we talked about and I see several of you are typing already. So we talked about earlier, what storytelling is, how storytelling can be impactful, and we also talked about who storytelling is for, how we can incorporate it into our content, and some of those types of pieces. Share with us, what was your major takeaway from these fast sessions that we've been doing on storytelling? And this one can be expressive. It doesn't have to be one word anymore. You can actually type in whatever you want, and you'll be able to see that come on screen in a talking tile. So this is the one we were talking about before, like with Lux, in terms of you instead of the thoughts coming on screen in a particular way, you can actually do it this way as well. 29 of you guys on the live today. We're excited for each and every one of you. And I see monologues coming in from Lux. I love that. And so Lux, while they're doing some of this, talk to me. Is it possible for us to be able to have to position these where we want them to be?
With the tiles, it's kind of trying to emulate a Tetris feel.
Right.
So two of my co-founders were Tetris champions in college. So this is their hat tip to Tetris and making it look like a Tetris game, literally. So it follows those rules and physics a little bit.
Right.
But you could pause it, if you just felt that they were disappearing a little too soon, you could click on the pause button. You could continue.
I see. So down here, you can click on the pause button, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But otherwise, it's going to keep looking out for empty gaps and filling that out.
Good.
And
Good.
Kirk, with your permission, there's another question in the chat as well, which I could address about
Please, go ahead.
Streaming.
Absolutely.
So I think Coins Making Sense had a question about receiving comments from multiple streams across different places. And yes, absolutely. But you would use an aggregator for that. So if you were using something like Restream or StreamYard, which we support right now, and down the line very soon, Kirk, EV Mux, and thank you for introducing us to the amazing folks over there.
Absolutely.
But, all of those platforms. So we do a lot of stuff on Restream, where we stream onto Kick, Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn Live, and Facebook Live, and all those comments come into Restream. And then there is a Chrome extension version of Streamer Live that we use to use that. And I think Kirk, you're an expert in using that as well. So
absolutely, yeah. We in the coming weeks on this channel, we're going to have content about how to do all of it. So we're going to do a overview video first, and so this particular session today is going to help to showcase some of the functions and features, and then we will do some individual videos that really highlights particular scenarios. You can use Streamer Live with StreamYard, with Ecamm, with Restream, or I should say, let me back up a little bit. You can use Streamer Live with Zoom, Teams. Is there another meeting platform?
Google Meet as well.
Google Meet, yes. So you can use it with the meeting platforms. I wanted to say that first. You can use it with the meeting platforms. It will actually enter your meeting like a guest, and then it will grab the comments from there. And as you share your screen into the meeting, they will see what you guys are seeing on screen right now. So that's another way that Stream Live will work. Then it also integrates with your web-based streaming platforms, and they're, like you mentioned, they're going to be working towards working with EV Mux. But right now, currently, it definitely works with StreamYard, and it works with Restream. It works with Ecamm when you use it to grab comments directly from YouTube, as in the way that I did it just today. So that's exactly how we were able to do it. But if you have your chat, and for many, you're familiar with the ability to be able to go to chat.restream.io and grab all the aggregate of your comments. You can then use the same plugin that you'd use for StreamYard or Restream to be able to grab those comments as well. So I see several other comments coming in right now. Let me see if I can grab a couple of those before we get too far away. All right, so here we go. Can this be used in a face-to-face / hybrid setting as well? And so the answer there, I think, is let me get Lux back on the screen here. That way we have got him on here, and then we got where's that question? So this is a question from Kerwin. Lux, talk to us. How what do you think on this one?
Oh, absolutely. So short answer is yes on a face-to-face and in a hybrid setting. So if you were to, when you chose the channels and you chose YouTube, there's an option far below that saying hybrid. And if you chose hybrid, it would assume face-to-face as a default and allow you to choose one other platform. So you could make that YouTube or LinkedIn Live or Zoom or whatever. And what would happen in that case is there would also be a QR code attached to the presentation.
Right.
And people in the room would scan that QR code and they would be in a browser-based chat. People on YouTube would be on the YouTube chat, and everybody, irrespective of whether they're typing on their phones in the StreamAlive browser chat or on the YouTube chat, would be part of the same conversation. So it's built for hybrid from the ground up.
Absolutely. I knew the answer was yes, but you gave the fuller answer, which is what I know Kerwin would be looking for, because he's a very technical person. Just kind of knowing a little bit of his background, he's going to want to know some of those technical details. I love Florence's comment, and she's there. She could have just said it out loud, but she's so humble. She just typed it in the chat. She says, "I love that the attendees do not need to go to another platform to interact. They can interact right on the platform that they're at," and that's absolutely amazing. That's definitely what we wanted to highlight there. I just want to see if I missed any other. I see Park Braz is here. What's going on, sir? Says, "I've used Streamlive for live streams. It's pretty cool. Love to see that. Learn how to tell a story, period." I love that. Learn something new. Okay, so let me go back to our screen. I think it is this one. That's the one we've designed here. And we do have one more. So here's a question, and so this one is let me see this one is a multiple choice, right, Lux? So do they need to put the number in, right? 11, 12, 13, 14, or 15?
Yeah, absolutely. Right? So yeah. I think you've chosen this as question 1 with a suffix, and therefore it's given a 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. But yeah, they would need to choose 1, 1, 1, 2. This is often used when you have a longer quiz and you want to evaluate and grade answers and run a trivia thing and have a record of who answered question 1 in what way and so on. But yes, you'd answer 1, 1 if you wanted to choose the first option.
Yeah. So I just want them to choose an option, so they can actually choose. Let me see. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. I see your comment as well, Lux, and I am planning on just showcasing a little bit of the AI piece, and we'll definitely want you to talk through that. Is the stream audio coming through okay for you? Extension use. All right, this has so many uses. Come on. I love this one with this quiz comment from Tora. She says, "There's so many uses. My mind is in Pinky in the brain mode, jotting down use cases." Absolutely. That's why we wanted to make sure we do this live demo first, then let you know that there's content coming behind it, because we want you to be aware of it. And of course, that link is pinned in the comment section. For those of you watching on YouTube, kirkarnugent.live/StreamAlive. You want a free trial, use that link. Of course, they're going to give me a little credit. I hope that that's okay. I see this comment here from Killing Time passing through. Okay, I just got here. Is StreamAlive a standalone streaming service like StreamYard and others? And so the answer to that is no. It is a partner platform that is really dialed in on engagement, but it also has some AI abilities that really allow you to kick out a presentation very fast with some fairly relevant questions if you know how to give, if you know how to prompt that thing properly. So that's what this is, and I hope that answers your question. It isn't a standalone streaming platform, but if you wanted to use it with something like StreamYard or Restream or others, you could use it in that way. All right, I see somebody just typed 11. I see Coins Making Sense just typed in 13. Anybody else? Which one doesn't matter for storytelling? Now, I see for some of you, you had to sit and think about that for a second. Like, which one doesn't matter? Which one doesn't matter? Which one? Now, I see, so we've only just got the 2 comments thus far. So let me know, let us know which one you think it is. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It promotes a call to action. Several people are saying if this story is true. if the story is true, if it promotes a call to action. Which one doesn't matter? Does it matter that the story promotes a call to action? Does it matter if it makes listeners/viewers care? Does it matter if the hero wins? Does it matter if the story is relevant? Does it matter if the story is true? Which one do you say does not matter? Which one does not matter? This can make my training 200% more engaging and dynamic. Come on, Kerwin, I love to see that. And I know what you do. That's why I said I wanted him to give you the technical answer. I know the kind of work that you do, and I know the kind of people who follow the channel. So several of you are engaging around this. Now, is anybody interested in the actual answer? Because there is an actual right answer. And I can see that 17% of you actually got the answer right. 17% got it right. In storytelling, it does not matter. Which one doesn't matter? Which one doesn't matter? Does it matter if the story promotes a call to action? No problem, Lux. I know you got to roll. We generally go way over time here, so it doesn't matter if it promotes a call to action. If you promote a call to action with your story, or you don't promote a call to action, I don't believe that matters. That's just the truth. Sometimes I will say, hey, this particular platform, Streamlive, is how I'm engaging my audience going forward, and I believe that you should use it too. You see, or I could leave that part off. It doesn't matter. It's totally up to me. It's not right or wrong to promote a call to action. So that one is not correct. If it makes listeners or viewers care, 0% put that one. Does that matter? It doesn't. It actually doesn't. Which one doesn't matter? It matters whether you make the person care. It matters whether you help them to recognize, are they part of this or are they not part of this? Is this for me or is this not for me? You want to get people to that point very quickly. So you guys were correct in not selecting that one, because it absolutely matters if you make the listeners/viewers care. If the story is relevant, it absolutely needs to be relevant. Your story's got to be relevant. It's got to be relevant. If your story's not, like, what have I've been teaching the last couple of weeks. I'm so glad that nobody selected that one. Your story's gotta be relevant. You gotta select a story that's relevant to what it is you're talking about in order for you to get what it is you're trying to get across. If the story is true, here's the truth, y'all. It doesn't have to be true. Take it from me, a longtime storyteller, or even if you forget about me, Jesus spoke in parables. There was no prodigal son. That's gonna bake somebody's noodle real quick here. There was no prodigal son. That was a story. Now we draw from it what we needed to learn, but it wasn't true. It doesn't matter if the story is true. It matters if it's relevant, if it's gonna speak to your people. You know what does not matter? Does not matter if the hero wins. It does not matter if the hero wins. It does not matter if the hero wins. It doesn't. It doesn't. In fact, there are many storytelling strategies that are now including where your hero doesn't win. If you look at the original Wakanda or Black Panther, Killmonger, who was supposed to be the villain, but everybody walked away feeling like he was the hero, and he did not win. There is so many pieces and strategies and ways that you can incorporate some of these things. Yeah, the story has to resonate. I see Kerwin Burnell says that. So I could go off the deep end with several of these things that I'm sharing. Lux, I know you got to roll. So if you have to, that's more than fine. I just can't thank you enough for coming through and hanging out with us today. Any last words before you roll, man?
Hey, thank you so much for having me, Kirk. I mean, I just love what you do with the platform and the kind of fun you have with it, how you make it so conversational. So honestly, I learn better ways to use our own platform each time I see you use it. So that's beautiful. Thank you.
I love to see that. I love to see that. I love to see that. And listen, right as you get ready to go, just kind of announce who our winner is for today. Who just won?
Congratulations, Gary Jones Jr.
Gary Jones Jr. And then this is where you can put in your cheers and stuff. Oh man, that's a bleep. Okay, there's a gunshot. There we go. Gary Jones, we are excited with you.
I'm just curious, Kirk, what do you use for the wheel? Did you say just anyone who commented once? Is that what you said?
I think so. Yeah, I just said anybody that's been in the chat, anybody that's commented at all, just go ahead and pull them into the wheel so that we can actually have them as part of the thing. But I love that you asked that question. So if we go back here, that's not the way. Well, I don't want to come out of it just yet. But but what Lux is basically saying to some, if you're picking up what he's saying, you can actually decide what the criteria is for your winning wheel. You can decide what it is, and you can decide, if it's a particular answer to a question, if there's a particular hashtag. Is that correct?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, there's several different criteria that you can put in for people to win. And then you can also see here on screen that we can actually restart this interaction by clicking below. And right here, I can actually remove the participant. So if I don't want Gary to win, I can do that, and then boom, we're going again. And we can select another winner, and you can have that animation. Doc Bishara, come on, you are our winner today. And you can see there are so many things that you can utilize this for. And that's the reason why I built out these scenes in particular, because I wanted to make sure that we showcase some specific things. David Hunt is asking if Stream Alive has a duck race. There was a giveaway that I'm known for doing, Lux. That was a duck race where the ducks were kind of racing against one another. So that's a very, it's one of those nostalgic items for my channel. People who've been watching my channel for a while, they always ask me, when is the duck race coming back? Well, I'm glad I'm able to do this with Stream Alive, but I don't know if Stream Alive has a duck race. So
I'm going to write that down as a future feature request, because I saw duck race mentioned a couple of times, and I was saying, what is duck race? I saw Florence mention it as well.
Yeah, I'll drop you a link to the one that I used to use. But it's really, so what it does, it takes all the names and it puts them on a duck, and there's just like this random race, and the ducks just kind of, it's a randomizer. So the ducks kind of go, and one of the ducks crosses the line first, and whoever that duck is, that's the duck that wins. And so that's how I used to do my giveaways on the channel. And I tell you what, it was a lot of fun. In fact, some people were like, they didn't realize how much they really wanted their duck to win. So that's
when we build awesome. It, you're going to put inspired by Kirk Nugent. Thank you.
Hey, listen, I love that, and I appreciate that. Listen, we're just excited to be able to partner with him. We're excited to be able to partner with you and the team. I'm actually just trying to see if there's a way for me to be able to pull up that duck race, because one of the guys in the chat is like, just show it to him, Kirk. Just show it to him. I'm like, okay, well, hey, why not? There we go. No, we're gonna get rid of that. No. There we go, duck race. Let's go back to the screen. So this is the platform I used to use, and so I would just kind of put, let's say 60 seconds. Set that, and you could actually shuffle the characters. You could actually edit the characters, but then when you'd hit start, the ducks would race, and one of the ducks would win. And it's just it's a crazy little scenario, but it was a lot of fun.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, we never knew who was gonna win, so yeah, that's the duck race, and yeah, we had a lot of fun with it. So Brian Jones says, as a former duck race winner of the duck race, it was fulfilling. LOL. Now the duck race was a lot of fun, man. So I still get messages from folks saying, hey, when are you doing the duck race again? I haven't done it in a while. I used to do it on Amazon Live a lot, and I would just give away different gear that I got in from people and stuff like that. So, but yeah,
this is so cool.
It is. And so here comes the finish line. There's always a break at the last, right? So now duck number 4 is gonna win. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then there was like a photo finish and some other things that you could do on there. Anyway, so but that's what that was, and so that was pretty cool. And so so Stream Alive has something similar. So Stream Alive has something similar with the Wheel of Wonder. And then the last one I'm going to ask, and again, it's really just it's arbitrary, but I want you to see that this is something that you could. How would you rate this session? On a scale of 1 to 5? Where would you rate this session today on storytelling? How would you rate this session on storytelling today? On a scale of 1 to 5, everybody in the chat, 1 being, hey, this was terrible. 3 being, hey, this was pretty cool. Could have been better, could have been worse. 5 being, this was absolutely amazing. I got so much out of it. Thank you so much for this session today. Just put those numbers in the chat and it'll be able to, look, Dr. Oteng not only put it in the chat, he put a super chat. Thank you so much, Doc Oteng, for the super chat. I love to see that. I guess Doc Oteng is going to utilize Stream Alive in some way because he is very appreciative today, and I just want to say a word of thanks to you for that. Coins Making Sense put 500 in the chat. Clearly, he has been enthused by this as well. 100% of the respondents put 5s in the chat. And again, this is another way that you can really get immediate feedback from your audience during your sessions to ensure that you're understanding what it is that they're going through and how they're utilizing the information that you've been sharing. Yeah, that's fine, man. So let me go ahead and drop that there. So, hey, Lux, I can't thank you enough for hanging out with us today. It was truly a pleasure to have you on. And I hope that, the rest of the team can go back and watch this live session later so they can kind of see how this went. But I think it went well. Let me go back here. I saw a comment from one of our guys here. I think it's from Cosmic Grandpa. He said, sorry I'm late. I was getting my next stream set up. Love your streams. Can I ask a question about YouTube engagement? Absolutely, you can. Let me star your comment because I want to get it. I'm gonna star your comment. And I wanted to showcase some of this stuff in Zoom, but I think we're just kind of out of time. So Florence, you're in Zoom with me. If anybody else is willing to help me test this thing out in Zoom, I would love to be able to do that. So I'm gonna go back to my screen real quick here and kind of showcase a couple of things. So now that we've kind of come to the close of this presentation, we can get out of it just by clicking the exit button right here, right? Exit. Do you want to exit? Exit. And so content questions, answers is there. The results of your responses are all saved, right? I have reports that I can pull from the responses that people shared with me. So yes, it's about engagement, but there's actually some data that you get from being able to engage in this way, right? You can, especially if this is a presentation, it's going to be a signature presentation for yourself, being able to gain data around it and be able to share with somebody, like a event planner who's looking to book you to be a speaker, and you can say to them, hey, this is the kind of engagement I had from this particular session. Boom, that is a shot in the arms. Like, here's a report. Here's how many people were responding. They're looking at these numbers like, this engagement is ridiculous. This is incredible. I need this kind of engagement at my next event. And so you can be the person that is bringing that power to that event, even if it's virtual, because you can do these in these spaces, whether you're on StreamYard, whether you're on Restream, whether you're on Zoom, Google Meet, or Teams, right? It's across the board. I want you to understand some of the flexibility that we have here, that we, in terms of what this means for us. I'm going to go back to home. I'm going to go back to my session here. And here's what I want to show you. I can now, and I think yes, Florence is still with me. So, and I'm going to ask if anybody else is willing to hit that link and join the Zoom room, because I do want to showcase a couple of these same pieces in Zoom as well. So if anybody can hit that link and join us in the Zoom room, that'll be great as well. But am I saying this right? Yes. In this same slide deck, I can come back in here again. After you've designed your slide deck, you can come back in here. You can go to where it says schedule, And if I click to schedule, you can see some different things that are there that I can add a destination and do some things there. But if I connect to present, you see there's Zoom, Google Meet, Teams, there's LinkedIn and WebEx, right? I didn't mention those before. You can actually connect it to all these, you know, and when you hover over Restream and StreamYard, it says, please use your Chrome extension for StreamYard sessions. And that Chrome extension is, I don't think you can see that. Let's pull this down a little bit. So this is the Chrome extension right here. When I click it, it says boost live engagement with chat powered interactions. It was a breeze to install the Chrome extension. And when you have a StreamYard stream up, you just simply open this and it will open another page for your presentation, but it will be pulling from the aggregate, right? So StreamYard, you can stream to multiple destinations. It will be pulling from the aggregate comments that are in your StreamYard studio for the responses for your Stream Live session. So that's how you would be able to do that. But I want you to see here that we have Zoom. So when I click Zoom, I can come over here to where I'm at Zoom. I see Bob Ponce is joining. Thank you so much for coming in. I need more people in Zoom to be able to test this if I can. And so if I come to Zoom, let's go to, okay. Yeah, I click on this green icon here and just copy the Zoom link. Copy that link, right? Just copy the Zoom link to whatever, to where I'm in Zoom, SA test session, CCK, right? Coaching Corner with Kirk. So boom, Control V, I paste that link in here. I say present. I'm not gonna have this on there. I'm just gonna say no, skip that. I'm gonna wait for a second. Now it comes up to this page, and this page is saying to me, hey, you've got to admit the bot. It's waiting to join the meeting over in Zoom. So when I scroll over to Zoom, see right here at the top, it says admit Stream Alive. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hit admit, and Stream Alive will join the Zoom session. So now in Zoom, we have Stream Alive, and then what is Stream Alive asked to do? Can I get permissions? I'm gonna say yes. Well, let me not do that because I want that to pop up next time. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna allow it to record the session as well. And now we are in this session. So the next thing I need to do is to share my screen. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share not a desktop, the entire desktop. I want to just share that tab, that one. Boom. So I'm going to share that Stream Alive tab, and I share it in. And so while Zoom takes me back over to this screen, I can click OK. But inside, or better yet, okay. So inside Zoom, where did the comments go? But inside Zoom, we now have this particular screen shared, and we can go back through the same activities that we did earlier. I'm looking for the Zoom link. It's in the description of the video, David Hunt, right at the top, right underneath the title of today's live show. The Zoom link is right there. Anybody that wants to join, please feel free to do so. Okay. And so all I'm going to do, kind of come up here to the top. I'm going to get my chat. Right, so I've got my chat here, and in the chat, I'm just gonna keep the chat right up here at the top here. And so in the chat, I'm not gonna want to talk to Florence, that'd be cool, but I'm going to type in Tampa, Florida, and so that comes into the chat, and you can see that Tampa, Florida comes onto the screen here. So let me go to my, okay. All right. I'm gonna pull this out over here. And so you guys can actually see, the comments coming into Zoom right above me. And you can see some of the locations that those places are going. And I can still see Bob Ponce is in here. I don't know. Oh, looks like somebody else has joined. We thank you for joining. Joining as a guest. And so, yeah, Marathon, Florida, St. Paul, Minnesota. Okay. All right, I see that somebody else has joined on Zoom, but it says user guest. I don't know who that is, and so just to be safe, I am not going to permit them because I don't know who that is. All right, I'm going to keep them in the waiting room until somebody says something in the comment section on YouTube, letting me know, hey, that's me. So once I see that, then I can let you in. But if I see some others that come in, if I see David Hunt pop up, I will just kind of let you guys in. All right, so they've added those things there. You can see, we can zoom in and see some of the places. So you can see that it doesn't matter the platform, whether you're using Zoom, you're using Google Meet, you're using Teams, you are gonna have a very similar functionality, a very similar feel and flow to what you're doing. And you can control, what you see by coming here. Oh my goodness, I see several comments are coming in. Okay, so here, boom, and you can see Florence Donald has put 1, and thank you for that. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna put a 2 just for good measure. Now, okay, so Dr. Vibe, that's you waiting. All right, let me admit you. Thank you so much for letting me know that it was you. So you're into the Zoom room now, Dr. Vibe. Thank you for letting me know that that's you. I put a 2, let me see. Okay, Bob Ponce put 1. And here's what I want to try, Florence, is to put, somebody asked this earlier, but I had moved on. Can you put another 1 and see if it's recorded? So let's see. So Florence put another 1. I don't know if that was recorded or not. I don't think so. I don't know. I put 2 earlier, so I'm going to put 2 again, see what happens. Oh, it is recorded. Okay, so I may need to adjust some of my settings for some of these screens so that we can make sure that they are not that they are not being recorded multiple times. But Dr. Vibe, thank you so much for coming into the Zoom room and giving us some time to share a little bit more in terms of what this looks like. But yes, you can see that. And so even with that said, let's go to our word cloud. So, and you can see what it is here on the side. We have wonder words, use one word to describe storytelling. We have transient thoughts. So, and again, we can just come in here. Was that? Okay, perfect. Okay, we got that. David put 2 and 1. Now, I want you guys to understand on YouTube, this is one of the limitations. I am not currently able to look at all of the comments. Does that make sense? I'm only getting comments from Zoom in this current scenario. So you saw the process I went through. I went in, I said, hey, I want to do a presentation. I clicked on Zoom. I gave it the Zoom link. You saw it enter the Zoom room. I had to admit it. You can actually see, I think you can see, no, you can't. Here's the meeting chat. But under participants, you can see that Stream Alive is actually one of the participants inside the Zoom room. So it isn't, we're not actually getting our comments from YouTube at the moment. We're only getting our comments from Zoom. And so I see, David put 2 and 1 in the chat on YouTube, but the comments in this particular case is only coming from Zoom. So I'm putting courageous in the chat and you can see courageous comes up. I'm going to put packed full, right? I see fun has come in. I'm going to type fun again. I want you to see what happens. You see, if each of us types fun, then fun will be in the center and it'll actually get bigger. You'll see that animation happen. I see. Okay, Florence put in impactful. Bob Ponce put fun. And again, fun just kind of gets bigger and bigger the more we put it into the chat. But the idea is that's just basically telling us that this is a word that many people are utilizing, and it may be something for you as the host to really focus on and share a little bit more on. So that's what this looks like again in Zoom. Now, what's going on, Anthony T. Ladson? Thank you so much for being with us today, my friend. Transient thoughts. Let's do the talking tiles real quick. Let's do talking tiles, and then I'm going to go back into Streamalive and showcase 1 or 2 last things, and then we're done for today. But what was your major takeaway from this session? Voice inflections. I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to put story dynamics. You want to make sure you have ease of use for the participants. No friction. I love that. Story dynamics. So come on. Let's put in engagement. Let's put in two-way conversation. Next level tools for engagement. Bob Pons says, I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's put in real-time feedback. So you can see right above me the comments that are being shared in Zoom, as well as the comments that are being shared on YouTube. But the ones in Zoom are the ones that are being captured by Streamalive and added to the screen. Came in late, but we'll watch the replay. Hey man, Anthony, thank you so much for Doc Ladson. Thank you so much for coming through and hanging out with us today. Keep audience active. I like that. And audience is active and engaged and thoughtful. Oh, that's a good one. Thoughtful. Yeah. So those are some of the things that we can showcase with this. Now, with that said, I'm going to exit it. So we're going to stop share. And let's figure this out. All right, so we stop share. Let's exit. So Streamalive has exited the Zoom session. Let me get this off of the screen real quick. Our comments section. All right. So now inside of StreamYard, inside of Streamalive, if I go back to home, I'm going to go into my session here. Now, if you have Streamalive join streaming software, would it accept input from all sources? So points making sense. This is a great question. Let me try and grab this question real quick before I do anything further. So this is a great question. So what Lux was saying is that it currently doesn't operate in that way. For the meeting platforms where you can actually join the session as a participant, then that's what they are having that the Streamalive bot do. Similar to Otter.ai and several of these note-taking apps that come into your Zoom sessions and sit there kind of like one of the squares, and they're listening, they're recording audio, they're taking notes, they're watching the chat. The Streamalive bot joins, it's watching the chat, and it is able to use that chat for the different dynamics and animations that you see on screen. StreamYard and EVMux are not built that way. So if you would have it join StreamYard, it wouldn't work, because it's not a meeting, it's a live stream, it's a live production. So in those instances, if I go back to my screen here, in those instances, what you would have to do is you'd go to StreamYard, you'd go into your studio, and you'll see this in just a second here. So we go into the studio, boom, enter, and okay, so now I'm in StreamYard in my studio. I've got, I only have one comment here, but I would actually have to go live for this to really make a whole lot of sense. But the idea is right here at the top. Let's pull this down some. Right here at the top, you have this Streamalive addition or a plugin for Google Chrome. When I click that, it's saying, hey, live streaming, StreamYard screen, do you want to connect? And if I click connect, it opens up a StreamYard, a whole nother presentation. It opens up this presentation, but on the page that I'm in StreamYard, you can see Streamalive is picking up live chat. That's what it's saying. So as comments come in here, Streamalive is picking it up. So that's how the plugin works. And hopefully that makes sense. That's how the plugin works, and hopefully that makes sense. So, but that's how you would end up having to do that for something like Restream or for StreamYard. And so hopefully that makes sense. Thank you for the question. I just want to make sure we help to clarify that a little bit. Creative Focus says, for some reason, the streaming softwares I've used take too many resources and my computer shuts down. I'm not sure what to do anymore. What, can you share with us a little more, Creative Focus, in terms of what is the specs of the computer that you're using? I'd love to be able to get that. I've got a couple of questions favorited. I'd love to be able to get that, I would love to be able to walk you through some things to be able to really help you understand why it is your streaming platforms are causing your computer to shut down. So just share with me what type of computer you have, how much RAM does it have, meaning memory. It's usually in 8, so it's either 8 gig, 16 gig, 32 gig. Then also let me know how much storage space do you have left on that machine. How old is the machine? If you're not very technical, to be able to share some of those technical details, then just share with me, a little bit more about the computer so we can kind of assess if this is a machine that actually should be used in that way. So here, if I go to this word cloud one, or even let's say this true or false one, you have the ability to come here and type in the title. You can generate a question with AI. Here are some of the options, all right? You can allow for audience responses. And you can actually show comments overlay. So you could actually allow the comment to pop up on screen so that people can see that. Now that works mainly with Zoom and with Teams and several others. So keep that in mind as well. You can result in show as percentages, or you can turn it off and show in other ways as well. When enabled, the percentage of votes is shown, else the number of votes is shown. So you have the option to kind of do that. Show numerical options. You can actually have that, or you can have A and B. It's totally up to you. And you can see that here. When enabled, options are labeled as 1, 2, 3, else they are A, B, C. And then you have this thing here that says filter out profanity. Any comments containing explicit profanity, English, blah, 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 will not be shown. So these are some of the things that they've built into the platform, and you have that level of granularity. If I go to design, I can actually select my background. You can see what that is. I can select my bar colors, my text color. You have the ability to kind of really dial things in. But all of that being said, you can, however, go back. Let's go back to, discard. You can go back to your main homepage and just use AI to go ahead and start a presentation in and of itself. So you have a lot of different functionalities that you can be able to pull here to really make this thing sing. All right. With that said, I'm going to try to get some comments out of the way, and then I'm going to be done for today. I think we've spent a lot of time, and I really want to make sure we get some folks across the line. Okay, so I have 7 comments that have been favorited. I want to see if I can get these. This one, I think we touched on already. So Tora, we touched on that one already. Thank you so much. And I hope that you were able to see some things today in this session that let you see how best to use this. Cosmic Grandpa's with us today. Thank you so much. And I want to say to you, the answer is yes, but I see that I have 2 more comments favorited from you. So I believe that you're going to come back in later. I just wanted to shout out Dr. Oteng one more time, thanking him for the super chat. I truly appreciate that. I hope that you will be able to utilize Stream Alive in your content as well. Here's Cosmic Grandpa's actual question. It says, I've published hundreds of shorts and everyone gets immediate views, but then peters out right at 400 views. It's super consistent. Any ideas why? 400 views? That's very, that's interesting. that's very interesting and very specific. So yeah, I don't have an answer for that without looking into the analytics. That isn't supposed to be a limitation. Shorts can kind of rise and fall just depending on where things are and how things are going. So it's very difficult to say, what an answer to that might be without actually taking a look at the analytics and understanding some of the background. So what initially comes to mind, Cosmic Grandpa, is that because the only time I've ever seen specific view counts on particular videos for a sustained amount of time is when people put ad spend behind it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you absolutely have not done that. But the only time I've ever seen that is, so let me say it this way. I had a guest on one of my live shows. This was years and years and years ago. Don't try and guess who it was. But I had a guest on my live show, and that guest, unbeknown to me, had paid for views on this particular show. He knew he was going to be a guest on my show, so I shared with him the link to the show on YouTube, and I told, in encouraging him to share it with his sphere of influence as well, so that we could have a good time and a lot of his audience could come and join while he's being interviewed on my show. Unbeknown to me, he went then and actually he actually paid for views to be added to that show. And so what ended up happening is, middle of the show, we had we're talking like we went up to like 300-400 live, quote unquote, viewers live. And I was just kind of looking at the number like I've never had. I mean, I stay right around 20, 30, 40, 50, somewhere in that area for my live shows. And I believe that those are really great numbers. But man, I had never had this amount of people watching live before. So I looked at that and I was like, man, it's kind of crazy. But then in like 5 minutes, it just dropped right back down to my normal 25, 30 people. And we just continued and finished out the show. But that particular episode is like, it's almost as if the amount that was paid for, they just put that in and had the bots watch for maybe 10, 15 minutes. And then the bots left to go do their work somewhere else. So the reality is, there are people who actually pay for views. It makes zero sense to me because you cannot monetize that, and it is actually very clear when that's happening. But I'm not saying that that's what you're doing, but anytime somebody says, "Oh yeah, I have 400," let's say in another case, I don't want to even say the name, but for another client case. It was exactly 826 views across like 10 or 15 videos, exactly that amount, no more. And we couldn't figure out like what in the world is going on. Well, I couldn't figure out what's going on, but until we spoke to the client and we realized that the client had been paying for views. So again, I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but that's the only time I've ever seen when a particular video or set of videos on one channel has the exact same amount of views across multiple videos. So hopefully that is of use to you, but I want to just kind of give you that as some context in terms of some of the things that people are doing out there. David Hunt says, I have published hundreds of shorts. Oh, you just were repeating the question for Cosmic Grandpa. Thank you so much, David Hunt, for doing that. Thank you so much for being a good moderator. I see you, Florence. All right, Creative Focus says, for some reason, the streaming softwares I use take too much resources. So that is the comment that I responded to earlier, and I'm hoping that she will come back in just a second. I migrated from a homebrew OBS setup to StreamYard to EVMux in the last 2 months. You've been a great help with that. Oh man, I love to hear that. Thank you so much, sir. Truly, truly, truly appreciate that. No, and I'm glad you responded, and that's why I didn't immediately say that, because I know that you're not paying, but that's the only other time I've ever seen that consistency, especially when it's down to the exact number for view count. When it was 826 for that one particular client across 15 videos, 826. And as the coach, I couldn't figure out what was going on. And then when we spoke to the client again, that's when we realized, like, oh, you got to stop doing that. So, and as soon as he stopped doing that, we stopped seeing that phenomenon. I have never seen that happen organically. And so I would definitely, interrogate your analytics and see what's going on there. Why is it stopping at 400? Why not 401? Why not 387? Why not 392? Like, why 400? What's happening with that number? It's too specific for it not to have some kind of human involvement or some kind of a, you get my point. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me see here. Let's see here. I see Creative Focus says it's a Mac OS. It's 2021. Is it an M1 processor, or is it is it Intel based, or is it Apple Silicon? I know that those names may not mean a lot, but you may be able to just go to let's go to the screen here. Uh, oh, Lux is back. You may be able to go to your screen, go to the app, click on the Apple. All right. Click on the Apple, and where it says about this Mac, I know you can't see that, but you click on about this Mac, and then you can actually see, you know, what kind of specs you have right there. If you just click on the Apple in the top left of your screen, help us, you can actually go and click on about this Mac, and then you should be able to see if it's an Apple M4, Intel. You see some of those details, and once you see those details, you'll be able to kind of give us a little bit more response where that's concerned. So definitely let us know how that's going, or you know what you find when you look that up. A Creative Focus 2021 Apple Mac. I want to make sure that that's something that we can figure out. Cool. Thank you so much for coming back through, Lux. Always good to have you. Organic views / following has more true value every single time. Kerwin, thank you for the feedback. This is very helpful. Yeah, I'm glad. Book a clarity call with Kirk. Thank you so much, Florence. You're just so awesome. My moderators are just the best in the world. I'm not biased. You're biased. I'm not biased. I believe it's Intel based, but I'm not at home to check right now. Okay. So if it's an Intel based processor, I'm going to tell you right now. And I guess what streaming software are you using? Creative Focus. If it's an Intel based processor, those are really starting to show their age. And so what I would recommend is, first of all, if you're not in a position to buy a machine, I would wipe that thing clean. Especially if all you're using it for is for streaming, I would completely, you can just go through a restore process with Apple. You can just kind of restore it back to its natural defaults without installing any applications on it, and then update it to the latest that you can for that particular laptop or computer. And once you get it up to the latest macOS Rev that you can, then just install Google Chrome. Nothing else. This is what I see a lot of people do a lot. They just have so much stuff on the machine, and they don't realize how much they're hampering their performance because it's just this little application. Oh, all I have on here is this. Nope. You're gonna do streaming, especially the amount of, especially if you use something like a StreamYard or a EVMux or a Restream, which everything is cached in RAM. I don't want to get too technical, but everything is cached in RAM. And so because everything is cached in RAM, and if you don't have a lot of RAM to begin with, it's really gonna tax the system. So a lot of people are like, man, I'm just gonna use a web-based browser because it's not that much it's not that taxing on my physical system. Not true. Google Chrome is a heavy application. You're basically installing an entire other operating system on top of your existing operating system. If you use Windows and you install Google Chrome, you just installed an operating system. If you use Apple Mac OS and you install Google Chrome, you just installed another Mac operating system. Same thing for Ubuntu and everything else that goes down across the line. So you want to make sure you are minimizing some of the load on the machine. And then you also want to make sure in Google Chrome that you have acceleration turned on. A lot of people who are using web-based browsing utilities like StreamYard and Restream and others and EVMux, you don't have on your accelerators for the browser. Turn that on, because that's going to give the browser a little more latitude to use some of the resources on your machine so that it doesn't bring it to its knees when you're live. Try to optimize what are all the things that you have open? And there are some tools from SetApp. I don't know if you're familiar with SetApp, but there's some tools from SetApp. And again, I want to caution against getting too bloated in terms of some of the things that you are utilizing, but there are some tools from SetApp that really help to kill some stuff. There's one that I've seen used that kind of kills everything that's using anything from a internet perspective, so that while you're streaming, you're giving full priority to the fact that you're streaming. So I don't know about Clean My Mac. Clean My Mac. Let me put it this way. Just wipe the machine first. Let's start there. Put Google Chrome back on there. Don't bother with any of the other utilities. Forget what I said about SetApp for just a second. See if that alone allows you to stream with your streaming platform of choice. Now, I haven't seen Okay, so she says it's happening on both StreamYard and Ecamm. Haven't tried EVMux. Okay, sorry. Thank you for clarifying. I wasn't sure if you were using Ecamm or EVMux. So, and if you have a MacBook, you should be using Ecamm. But I will say that with the Intel-based Macs, you definitely want, and I see that you have GarageBand. So GarageBand is not supposed to be running when it's off, but you want to make sure that that's off when you pull it up. But you're getting to the kind of an end of life scenario. There's so many functions and features. Ecamm just dropped a release yesterday, a beta release, I should say. In that beta release, they literally said at the beginning of the stream, they said, if you don't have an Apple Silicon based Mac, basically if you don't have the non-Intel based Mac, none of these features are gonna work, not even one. So I wanna just kind of caution you. The Intel, my wife is in a very similar scenario where she has an Intel based Mac. For those of us that bought those machines in 2021, which I did as well, you had the option of buying an Intel or a M1. Because the M1 was so brand new, a lot of people still opted to go with the Intel. And we are just like you in that regard. And we're facing, we're paying the price essentially, because there's so many things that we simply do not have access to because it's going to be built on that newer architecture. And so those are some of the steps that I would do. Creative focus. I want to listen, if I don't know where you are in terms of your streaming career and streaming capacity and different things like that. I don't know if you would be willing to book a half-hour session or an hour session with me so we can go over some things. We can try and optimize some stuff for your streaming, but I would be willing to do that if that's something you're interested in doing. But outside of, before you ever pay for anything, try what I'm saying. Shut everything off. Try to clear that machine from everything that you're using. I don't know if you'll be able to use Ecamm, but you should be able to use StreamYard with Google Chrome at a minimum, just using your camera and bringing in a guest or two. So some of those pieces should be able to get you across the line. Okay. Let me see what else we got. I see one more comment here from Cosmic Grandpa. If you have audio issues with StreamYard on an Acer Nitro laptop, turn off all effects in Realtek Audio Console. Don't ask me how I know. Cosmic Grandpa, listen, we gotta have fun. This is what it's all about. That you see that little question he asked there at the end where he says, "Don't ask me how I know." That is Cosmic Grandpa's way of including us in the story. That's his way of putting a little cliffhanger on there that just says, I've had issues with this. And you know what that does for us in terms of telling stories? It gives him street cred. It means, oh, so you went through this too. And then somebody else might chime in and be like, oh, yep, definitely turn off the Realtek Audio Console. Definitely got to turn off those effects. Why? Because they've had that experience as well. And every time somebody else chimes in, you know what happens to Cosmic Grandpa's stature, and to his gravitas, to his credibility? It's rising. This is what story will do. And especially when you can engage people in what you're doing with stories, right? If I feel like I'm part of that story, then it's not your story, it's our story. And you always want it to be our story. As a content creator, as a thought leader in a given space, as a content entrepreneur, you want to make sure that if the people that you would potentially want to work with or be connected to or to even serve and serve well, you want to make sure that it's our story. Everything that we've been able to do today, we're looking at Stream Alive, talking about story creating and all these different pieces, it's all been around helping us to see how can we ensure that it's not just us yelling into the ether. Looking at a camera in a room by myself where I'm just shouting. No, there's got to be times where you engage. This is what live streaming is all about. I like to tell people your live stream is a conversation, is the continuation of a conversation you started with your content. Content starts the conversation. I dropped a video on Sunday, dropped a short on Tuesday. Now I'm live today. Somebody may have seen that video. Somebody may have commented on something. I'm live today, and then we can continue that conversation. That's where some of these comments come in, some of these questions come in. Live streaming is about community building and engagement. And so when I look at a live stream that has no engagement, it's just look at me and listen. You can put that out as a podcast on demand. I can listen to that. If it's gonna be live, however, I need to be able to respond and I need to know you're listening. And one of the ways that you can do that, of course, is just by being laser focused on your comments. It can also be by having the right moderators. Shout out to my mod squad, because they're the best. My mod squad is better than yours. But the other way that you can do that is having a platform like Stream Alive. Having a platform like Stream Alive that's gonna really enable you to tease out from your audience some different things. There are answers that you guys gave today that allowed me to know what video to do next. There are answers that you guys gave today that gave Lux and his team feedback for them to be able to improve the platform even better. There's answers because it's a part of a two-way conversation. It's part of a story that is not done, a story that is very much ours, a story that we will come back next week for, especially if we get that duck race. No, I'm just joking. Oh, or am I? You gotta come back in order to find out. But my point is, content creation, it doesn't have to be complicated. It's just people doing life together online. That's it. I said to one of my coaching clients recently, every time you walk out your door, you're live. So this apprehension and trepidation that you feel around clicking the live button in your streaming platform of choice, what is it really? Because when you go to the gas station, you're live. When you stand in line at your, lunch spot, whether it's fast food or you're sitting down for a meal, you're live. Somebody pulls up next to you at the water cooler at work and they introduce themselves, guess what? You're live. You have no idea what they're gonna say. And quite literally, you didn't get a chance to prepare what you're gonna say either. You don't have to, because you're live. And those are some of the pieces I always wanna make sure you get a chance to know. Your live stream is your digital storefront. There's no better way to go from busy and broke to peaceful and paid than for your ideal customer to see you do your thing while you're live. And when they see you do it live, they don't need the taste test or the ad campaign, especially if you do it right, especially if you respond to them, if you don't just ignore the comments. If you do it right, they want to book the business. They're ready to have you come in and do the consult. They're ready to have you speak on their stage. They're ready to pay for a training session. Why? Because you couldn't have prepared for their questions because they didn't even know what questions they were going to ask when you went live. That's why it's the ultimate cheat code. That's why it drastically cuts down the time it takes for people to know, like, and trust you. And that time frame is the time frame it takes to be able to do business. This is why I believe in live streaming. I think it's at the top of the content creation period. You can get every other form of content from live streaming, but you cannot get live from any of the other pieces of content. And so I hope that you're catching what we're sharing here today. Storytelling is just going to help you to level up your live streaming and engagement for your audience to really know that I'm here for you. And platforms and tools that, like what we tested today, it sits squarely in the space of engagement and how you make of it. I love that Tora was like, I've got a ton of notes right now of how I'm going to utilize this platform. That's what it's all about. And I hope that you guys got a chance to see that as well. Okay, let me see if we have any other quick last questions before we get it ready to close it out for today. Oh, I love this. Lux says, that's a great grounding statement. Every time you walk out the door, you're live. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Somebody said quack, quack, quack. You know what this says to me? Coins making sense. I've got to bring back the duck race. I don't even have a choice. I didn't realize how much of a chord that strikes with my community. I've definitely got to bring back the duck race. It's got to happen. Same bad time, same bat channel. I love it, Cosmic Grandpa. We're going to have fun. Next Wednesday, come right back here. And of course, make sure you look out for some content as well. Always good to have my mod squad here. You guys are so dope. Oh, there we go. Running, bravo. Instead of Google Chrome, took a lot of weight off my M1 Pro and when I'm streaming. This is a great point. So again, I don't know if what's her name? Yes, Creative Focus. I don't know if Creative Focus is still here, but this is a great point for Creative Focus. So hopefully you got a chance to see that. Question for Kirk. Oh man, the Laughing Loan Officer podcast says, your glasses are fire. See, you get, if I had, where's my horn? You, where was my bomb? Let's drop a bomb. Oh my word. Thank you so much. I had these glasses on this entire time. Nobody said anything. Come on, I thought you guys were friends. This is so dope. Thank you so much, Laughing Loan Officer Podcast. I gotta check out that podcast. That name is dope. That seems like it would be a lot of fun. Because I don't know if you're laughing at the loan, the person applying for the loan or not. Laughing Loan Officer Podcast has to be fun. Like that has to be. Let me go ahead and bookmark this right now. Okay, let me get this last question. Okay. Okay. So let me see this now. By the way, Streamer Live's quick questions would have captured all your questions. Dang, that's dope. See, I'm just also scratching the tip of the iceberg here with some of these tools as well. I think there's so many ways for us to be able to really engage with folks on this one. Okay. Kirk, I have been having buffering issues on my MacBook Pro Max M1 64 gig RAM, 2 terabyte. I'm usually running Ethernet to the router and I usually have little traffic on my home network at 6 a.m. Help! Okay, David, we need to do a deep dive on this because I have been on your live stream. So for full disclosure for everybody that's watching, I watch David Hunt every morning. I wouldn't say every morning, but I try to catch him every morning. It's 6 for him, it's 5 a.m. for me. So, you know, every now and again, I catch him in the morning. He does a live piano show and he plays. It's absolutely phenomenal. If you get a chance to check it out, it's a great way to start the day. If you start off with meditation, he's just playing in the background. If you start off with worship, whatever you do, you can have David playing in the background. Since it's a huge plug for him, just click on his avatar, go on over to his channel, hit the subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell as well. Okay, so David has and his streams have been smooth. He's been doing this for years now. So we're not talking about someone who's new to this. He's true to this. So I'm wondering what has been introduced that has changed, you know, that level of smooth stream. So MacBook Pro Max M1, I wonder if there's anything on there. What I would do, David, because I know you play around with the beta version as well, I would dump it. I'd get rid of the beta version. I would also not stream to restream. I would stream directly to platform, to, you know, your desired platform. I would bring down your stream quality. Right now I'm streaming in 4K, you know, because I got the new M4 Mac Mini and I just upped my Google Fiber to 4 gigs up and down. So figure let's take it for a spin. I might stream in 6K. No, I'm just joking. But the idea is, for you, I would really go for a baseline to see if any of those changes have an impact on your smoothness of your stream. So that's what I would do to begin. Really, yeah, you have Ecamm. I know you use Ecamm, even though you didn't tell us that in your question, but I know you use Ecamm. So I would dump the beta version, okay? Dump it. I would stop using Restream just for a couple of streams, just to see if you can get some baseline, and then I would just go with 1080p, or even no, don't do 720. That's just terrible. Go with 1080p for the next couple of streams. Test that out. See if you have any improvement in your consistency and your quality, and if you see those lags go away, right? If you see those bufferings go away. Do that for a couple of days. Let me know how that goes. You know, this is like the doctor prescribing, like, take this pill 3 times a day and then come back and let me know, because I'm interested in seeing if that makes a change. I do not think it is your internet, especially since you've done your internet speed tests. I don't think Ethernet is not a signal like Wi-Fi is. So you should be getting a consistent stream. Plus, you're not going down, you're going up. And most households are coming down. Most of households, if there's internet, they're pulling it down. They're not pushing it out. So you shouldn't have a problem as long as you're hardwired. Unless, one thing I would do is, if you can, purchase a USB-C, better yet, a Lightning or a Thunderbolt Ethernet adapter. Or are you using an adapter? See, now my mind is turning. Are you connected directly? How is that Ethernet connected to your computer, David? Ask yourself some of those questions. and maybe swap out the dongle that you're using to connect Ethernet, because I am pretty certain that the MacBook Pro Max M1 64 gig laptop does not have a onboard NIC, network interface card, that for those that are, you know, the uninitiated, but none of those have a NIC. So whatever you're using to bring internet to that computer, swap that out as well. And again, do some of the other things that I talked about. Don't stream in 4K, stream in 1080p. Don't get rid of the beta version of Ecamm, and don't use Restream. Do those things. Let's test it and see what we get. And let's see what we get. Okay. My daughter was watching with me, and she said she wants to see one more duck race. Oh my gosh, I've got to do this duck race. The whole Zoom room is laughing right now. The whole Zoom room is laughing right now. Okay. All right, I have a 3 p.m. work meeting, so I will drop in about 4 minutes. I want to say a word of thanks to, let me go to my screen. I want to say a word of thanks to Florence Donald. She's been faithfully hanging out with us over in Zoom this entire time. So I just want to say a word of thanks to you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I know we went way over. We're almost at 2 hours right now, so I got to go. But I just want to say a word of thanks to you. And of course, Lux, you're back. Thank you so much for being here. Let's go back to our comments. Somebody says bravo or brave. I don't have a preference. Whatever works for you. I've heard good things. I've actually experienced good things on both, but I wouldn't necessarily say one is better than the other. Actually been using a browser called Arc, A-R-C. That's been something that I have been really enjoying. And it just kind of, it's for my workflow. It's been something that's really been a game changer for me. I need to check out Laughing Loan Officer because number one, my number one daily question when I'm working some client files is, who approved this loan? There's synergy right here. This synergy right here. I love this. There's synergy right here. I love that. I love that. I love that. So I love seeing that kind of thing. Okay, he says I dumped Restream years ago. Good. Direct to YouTube 1080p. Okay, so now that means we're gonna have to look at some different things there. Okay, since Stream Alive reads the chat, it is able to automatically figure anything that looks like a question, pulls all of those into a module called Quick Questions. So Kirk or any presenter could click on it anytime they review all questions asked until that time. Oh, that's so dope. And he has actually shared a link, and I'm just gonna put it here for those who are watching the replay to be able to know where, you know, what Lux was talking about when he said that. So thank you so much. He's got a Cal digit. That's nice. I would definitely try something else and see if that works for you. Kirk, you're a pastor. Of course you went 2 hours. We can't help ourselves. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Yeah, we can't help ourselves. Oh my word, great stuff. GR Houston Jack, thank you so much for coming through and hanging out with us today. Always appreciate it, man. Miss Tiny TV says it's brave. Brave. No. Isn't there 2 browsers? Or did I read that question wrong? I may have read that question wrong. Anyway, I use a browser called Arc, but it is, I thought there was a Bravo. Anyway, I could be wrong. But anyway, On Their Nux podcast says solid. Fam, I think we're gonna land it right there. We're coming right up on 2 hours. This has been absolutely amazing. I cannot thank you guys enough for rocking with me today. You gave me some really good content and allowed me to be able to kind of work through some pieces and some things with Stream Alive, and you're gonna see some of that content later because, you know, well, I'm going to be making some content for Stream Alive. So, I'm going to be making some content to cover Stream Alive, right? Not for Stream Alive, to cover Stream Alive. And I hope that that's going to be meaningful to you. Yeah, Just Tora says, I meant Brave and had Bravo TV on my mind. I thought there was a browser called Bravo. My bad. Great stream, Jim Lawyer says, thanks. Thanks to each and every one of you for coming and hanging out with us today. It is my absolute pleasure to host this space every week. And we had a really great group of folks just hanging out with us today. Over 20 people watching almost the entire 2 hours. Some had to come, some had to go. But it is absolutely amazing what we're able to do together in these spaces. Be blessed, y'all. Listen, have a phenomenal day. Get out of your comfort zone. Tell some stories. Go live. change your world. It's your boy Kirk Nugent, Geek Speaker Preacher. Thankful for your time and attention today. We'll see you around these internet streets or in the next broadcast. Grace and peace, fam.